To focus on teacher education, the Teaching Council is the professional standards body in Ireland that sets out the standards in relation to teacher education. In their CAME standards for student teachers, they clearly place a strong emphasis on fostering creativity in teachers, and it's seen as something that's really important for the Teaching Council. However, in a study that was carried out with 120 teachers, we hear that 95% of them feel that teacher education does not necessarily prepare them for using creative methodologies in the classroom. So there's clearly a real disconnect going on between the expectations around teachers being creative and what's happening in teacher education. To take that further, if you look at the teachers who've been engaged with Fighting Words and who've attended Fighting Words workshops with their classes, 90% of them feel that their teaching, their own confidence and capabilities in terms of using creative methodologies was enhanced and strengthened by observing what was going on at Fighting Words. And looking at the same group of teachers, the majority of them, 70%, feel that they didn't get that kind of exposure to creative methodologies when they were going through the teacher education system. So what we're seeing there clearly is a need for greater attention and focus to teacher education and creative education methodologies and creative approaches, participatory approaches, collaborative learning. And there's a real need for courses and programs and projects in teacher education that are really going to support young teachers to be able to use these methodologies confidently. The Teaching Council places an emphasis on supporting teachers to be reflective and to be learning as they're going through the courses. And there's the Taishce ongoing record that teachers prepare, where they're reflecting on and thinking critically about their own practice and their own professional development. Now again here, it's interesting that the kind of critical thinking and the objective assessment skills that we need, the ability to be able to look at stuff critically and with fresh approach, to be able to really analyse our performance as teachers, requires a creative approach and the kind of creative methodologies that allow us to become more forthright in our thinking, in our critical analysis, and in our strategic ability to assess what's happening in the classroom, will be strengthened if teachers are helped and supported in terms of using creative methodologies. So if we really want our teachers to be reflective and to be considered, we do have to ensure that the kind of training and support and courses that we need in relation to creative education are available for young teachers. And of course, it isn't only in pre-service teacher education where we have this need. We know from talking to teachers that are working in schools and classrooms that there's a real appetite and a real interest in terms of continuing professional development around creative education and creative writing. And that's coming through in two ways. Firstly, teachers want ways in which they can develop their own creativity and can express themselves creatively. We have a fantastic cohort of teachers, many of whom are extremely creative, but don't necessarily have the time or the avenue to express that. And by providing opportunities for teachers to write or to explore their own creativity, we're strengthening their capabilities as creative teachers also. And in Fighting Words, for example, there is a collaboration with the Junior Cycle for Teachers in the Arts to provide writing initiatives and projects with teachers, which are always very popular. But secondly, we're also hearing from teachers that they need support in terms of developing their own confidence and their own tools and techniques in relation to creative writing and creative education. And talking to the teachers who've been part of Fighting Words workshops with their classes, they'll talk about the fact that it has given them more confidence and a greater sense of capabilities in terms of being able to teach in a participative way, in an inclusive way, in a child-centred way. And that message, it really confirms how important it would be to help teachers to come in and observe and be part of the mentoring processes in Fighting Words as part of both pre-service but also continuing professional development.